guys, Shane here. Just a very quick update on the work I've been doing on the latest kit I've been working on over the last couple of weeks, which is Airfix's VF109E4. These kits I think came out maybe 2011, I think 2012. They are really nice kits. They're all new tool, and they're very cheap and inexpensive, and very good detail considering the really good price of them. They're not as sharp as Swezda's 109 F series, but still they're not far off it, in some regards at least. So some of you might recognize this from the photos I've been putting up on YouTube modelers on Google Plus. So I just thought I'd do a quick video on my progress today, because I've actually done quite a bit to this kit, and a lot of firsts in this kit for me as well. I'm actually really enjoying aircraft a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm kind of beginning to gravitate towards some a little bit more than armour. I'm not getting out of armour modelling or anything like that, but there's only so many tanks you can build in one go, and you kind of get a bit fed up with it. So I've been really enjoying aircraft modelling, just because it's a little bit of a different pace. It's more progressive. You know, you do a bit of work, you paint, you build around it. You do a bit more work, you paint, you build around it, you weather. It's stop start, and some modelers, especially some armour modelers, tend to kind of find that a little bit kind of off-putting, in the sense that we're used to a very different feel of build. But I kind of like it. It means you can kind of break a build down to many mini projects really, and keeps things interesting. So I'll just talk about what I've done. So the entire model has been painted using, with the exception of the gun barrels and the yellow cowlings, with Vallejo's RLM series that was sent out to me by the lads about a year ago. Great set. I had to top up a few colours, including my RLM too, because I've been going through that like mad. Great. Vallejo Air series are really good. A lot of people don't like them, and a lot of people tend to just kind of listen to it, like take other people's word first. I have nothing but good experiences with these paints personally. Anytime they've sprayed incorrectly or gone runny, that's because I either had my pressure up or I put thinner into it. In reality, you don't really need to put thinner into these paints at all. It doesn't harm to put maybe a drop of thinner in, but to be honest, it's kind of unnecessary. It just depends how fine you want your spray. So if you're done using the RLM set from Vallejo Air or Model Air, so the splinter set, which I kind of made a mistake on earlier. I got the camo back to front. I had to go back and respray it, but I'm happy now because you can see some of the panel fades I've done on the dark green especially. Really happy with it. I'm just kind of currently going through the decaling process. I still have a few little sub assemblies here to paint up on it, but I got a bit fed up airbrushing things, and just wanted to start making it look like a 109. The decals are cartograph, so they're very, very good. No real issue with them. I got a bit of silver in here, but that's because I didn't adhere the decal correctly to the model, and I haven't sealed any of this in, so I'm just going to go back with some more microsol, or microset, is it? Well, which one is it? Yeah, some microset, and just reactivate it and bed it down properly onto the surface of the model. I'm not really happy with the RLM kind of camo, kind of freehand this aircraft has, but with some oil washes and filters, it'll kind of blend everything back in. I'll have to go back in and pick out some of the panel lines, especially on the yellow areas. And as I mentioned, I used different colours for the gun barrels, obviously different manufacturer of paints for the gun barrels and the cowling, or the yellow parts of the aircraft. The gun barrels are lead belcher, I believe, from Citadel. I ran out of gun metal and just went into my local hobby shop and picked them up. So you're always almost guaranteed to be able to find Citadel paint somewhere near you. They're okay. I'm not a big fan of Citadel as much as I used to be. The pots I hate, like they're in these style pot, and I really don't like this. And that's actually the colour I used, lead belcher, which is like a gunmetal. It's just very difficult. These dry out constantly, or you knock them over and all that. I really wish they'd kind of go to the eyedropper bottles like Army Painter and Vallejo and AK and MiG does, but well, we'll survive. And then the yellow cowlings, and one of the guys on YouTube Modelers asked me this as well, what colour did I use on the yellow parts of the aircraft? Well, the kit I didn't have in the set, or the set doesn't include RLM 04, which is the yellow Luftwaffe colour. So the kit suggested that you use Humbrol acrylic 154 insignia yellow, I believe is the name of the colour. It sprays pretty well. It does say on the side that it can be tinted to be airbrushed. It sprays okay. You're constantly having to go back and unclog your airbrush because the pigment is a little bit heavy on it, which if I'll show you just so you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's very, very gloopy. I don't have to tint this quite heavily to make this spray. And then because you tint it heavily, and because of the opaque nature of that yellow as a colour has, it took a lot of progressive layering to build it up. Had a lot of runs, had to start from scratch a couple of times, but it's okay. I'm not really happy with the yellow, to be honest, with this aircraft. And I'll go in and weather this up with oils and some chipping once the decals have been sealed in. What else? That's really it. I've built this kit before, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And the kit I've built, basically Airfix released a general set of sprues that would allow you to build basically any E version from E1 to E4, including the tropical variants. So I've built an E1 that was the kit that me and Andy were meant to be doing the buddy build about a year ago on. His kit had a mishap. I can't remember what happened. I think something leaked into his model or something like that. I can't quite remember. But I actually have since completed my kit, and I've learned a lot of lessons on that kit that I've applied to this one. So this model has kind of benefited from the experience of the first one, which I'm going to show you now. So if you just hang tight, I'll just show you my E1. Okay, so here's the E1 variant that I built. I completed this a couple of months ago. I had some mishaps. There was a lot of learning on the job for this kit. I wasn't really used to building aircraft, and I haven't built any 48 scale aircraft up until this kit for about 6-7 years. So basically I was a total novice to large scale or a total novice to aircraft full stop. But I'm still very happy with the result I got out of it. But I did make some mistakes. The most noticeable, well, up until very recently, the most noticeable of all of them was when I was making my homemade mask with Tommy tape for the canopy. There's a false ledge here. It's just the way it's molded. It gives you like a phantom line that tends to blend into this frame panel here, and I mistook that as a panel line and ran my scalpel right through it and scored the canopy glass really badly. But luckily when I bought the E4, which again is the same sprues as this kit, as in just the kit I just showed you there with the yellow cowling, it comes with a lot of crossover parts, including a spare E1 style canopy that I was more than happy to pop off the original, rescribe my panel lines. It's still not perfect, but it's better than nothing, and it means that this kit now isn't going to be just relegated to the shelf. I can actually kind of display it. I've yet to add an antenna line. Again, I can always come back and do that at a later date, and I just have to drill, and when I do put the antenna line in, I'll just have to drill a small hole because there's another little wire that comes up and meets it. I did add pigments for the exhausts and for the machine guns. I didn't go too heavy weathering this. I didn't want the heavily weathers, just for some of the fact being is that it's already weathered enough from all the oil and pin filters I put into it. And it's kind of the thing about I always find with modelling aircraft is weathering them, because of all the smooth surfaces, especially if you're trying to do surface chipping, and I'm not really kind of comfortable doing that yet, so I kind of don't want to go too mad putting pigments in. The decals are aftermarket. There was nothing wrong with the kit decals, it's just that I lost the marking guides for this kit, and I just used that as an excuse to buy a set from EagleCal. They were pretty good, very high resolution, all in register. For some reason it didn't react too well to microset. It didn't conform to any of the lines. It just went down like a final mask that a lot of the science fiction guys would be familiar with. But more importantly, it comes with a tail SWAT-Z 2, which I think it's always important to add if you're trying to build as close an aircraft as you possibly can. The SWAT 3 ones had, and I don't like censorship of history. So again, this was painted using the same Vallejo set. This actually was entirely painted out with Vallejo. The exhausts were painted, which you can't really see from this angle, but the exhausts were painted rock brown, the German armour red-brown primer, and then just with a graphite pencil. This one, in fact, I just made a metallic sheen out of it, and then sealed that all in. And at the very end, after the aircraft had been satin varnished, because I kind of wanted a bit of a sheen off it, it makes, even though it makes videoing it a little bit difficult, but still adds a nice look to it. Just went in with some pigment and just added some soot. So that's really it. I hope you like it. The underside too got treatment, but I'm not really happy with that, so we'll hide it. So yeah, I hope you like it. I'll do a proper reveal of the 2D's aircraft when I finish them both, and I'll reveal them together. So I really hope you like it. Any suggestions or any tips or any advice you have tackling these type of aircraft, do feel free to chime in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good week, happy modelling, stay safe, and watch out for those buses. Bye bye.